My heart is something that is extremely important to me. Everyone's heart is something that is extremely important to them. We all only get one, in a matter of speaking. And that's actually what I'm going to talk to you all about today. I'm going to speak from the heart. I'm going to tell the truth, but I'm also going to speak as an expert in cardiology and in heart failure. And I say that because I never actually went to medical school. However, I've had 5 open heart surgeries as well as a heart transplant. So, with over 10 years of multiple surgeries, as well as many times where I fell down and had to get back up, there is no way that I absolutely do not know what I'm talking about. And at the end of the day, what I really want to get across to you is that if my little heart can do it, then you can do it as well. There is nothing in this world that you cannot do or you cannot accomplish. So about 10 years ago, I was working, I was waiting tables, a regular job as just anyone does, in their maybe late 20s, we'll say. I'm not going to give an exact number. I'll let you begin to try to do math if you think you can. But, if you want to keep up, we'll go with it. Absolutely. So as I'm waiting tables, I had been doing it for about 10 years at this point, and I'm good at it. It's just something that's from the back of my hand. I could just do it off the back of my head. And there began nights where I would have to go and sneak in the bathroom, and unfortunately, I would throw up, or I would be extremely short of breath, or I would get out of the restaurant and I would have to go directly to the hospital, and I didn't understand what was going on. So the first hospital center that I went because my heartbeat got above 200 beats per minute, and I didn't know what to do. I was terrified. Who wouldn't be? All I could feel was my heart pounding. So I went straight to the emergency room. They gave me fluids. They said, "You're going to be fine. You're good. Calm down. Breathe." And they sent me home after a couple hours. This happened a couple weeks later, so I went back to the hospital thinking nothing was wrong. They were just going to give me fluids as they did before. I could breathe. Everything was going to be fine. It was all good. But then it happened a third time. And that's when things really, really, really started to get tricky. And that's when they transferred me from one hospital to another across the city. And they both were really, really, really big hospitals. So it's like, what could one hospital do that the other couldn't? And then I found out that I might actually die on the ambulance ride from one hospital to the other. When I was being admitted into the hospital, I was actually being admitted into the ICU, into the second center. And the person who was actually admitting me, I was dating him. Literally my boyfriend at the time. And he says, "Hey, Kyrie, babe, can you hear me? Kai. And I had no clue that it was him. No idea whatsoever. So I was in the hospital for about 2 weeks, then they sent me home. So the next day, I'm thinking everything's gonna be fine. I went to the grocery store with my mom. If anyone knows one thing about me, I love to absolutely cook. I can throw down in the kitchen, whether it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's. You don't need a caterer. You don't need to pay anybody. Wait a minute. Unless you want to pay me, because I will happily take that commission. Trust, I'm good at what I do. But I couldn't even walk around the grocery store with my mother, so I knew that something was still significantly wrong. So we went back to the hospital that night, and it was within 2 days that I was introduced to what's called an LVAD, a left ventricular assistance device. And what this LVAD did was it actually kept my heart beating. It actually evened out the blood flow through my entire body. And so with this, I was able to get back to traveling. I was able to get back to work. I was able to start living somewhat of a normal life, even though I had this external battery of a heart. Basically, it was an external heart until it got infected. And then I had to go back to the hospital all over again. Open heart surgery number 2. They took out the machine. I went back to work 16 days later. Now, with that being said, back to work 16 days after surgery, not 16 days actually out of the hospital. So it was a quick turnaround. I was lucky. They say the stronger you are going in, the stronger you are coming out. So I guess that's what it was, because most people with heart failure, as well as with an LVAD, do not run around like a chicken with a head cut off in their own restaurant. And that's literally what my doctor said when he came to visit me one day in the restaurant. He was blown away because he had never seen a patient do anything like this. However, the cycle happened all over again after they had actually put another LVAD back in. So that's open heart surgery number 4, but then it got infected. So they put me in a coma for a week. And when they put me in the coma for that week, they washed it out, meaning the infection. They washed me out completely. They actually washed me out 3 times. That was the point of it. They actually wanted to bring me back all 3 times. I said, just put me in a coma. I can't do it. I can't do it. When I came back, again, I'm thinking that everything's gonna be great. I'm thinking that everything's gonna be hunky-dory. That's when I actually got listed for the heart transplant list again. And things actually started going positive. Things were going well. And then next thing you know, maybe like a year and a half later, I'm back to waiting tables. I'm actually working at a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. Yeah, the big British guy actually yelled at me one day. That's actually happened as well, but that's a different story. So I'm at work. And I'm in pre-shift, which is a meeting that we have, which we talk about the night, basically, and what's going to happen, and who's going to be the VIPs, and, why is it going to be so busy, or is it going to be busy? Is it not? Whatever of the sort. And funny enough, I had actually picked up this shift last minute. I'm in pre-shift, and my mom is actually calling me over and over and over again. And I'm looking down at my watch, but I'm realizing that I can't answer the phone. But I'm wondering why she's calling me over and over, because when she does this, I know that it's some sort of emergency. And to be honest with you, my heart was the last thing on my mind. When you're going through a heart transplant, you honestly don't even think about it. It just becomes a regular part of life, and you know that it's what you actually have to do. It's just what you do. And so when I get on the phone with my mom, she says, Tufts is trying to get a hold of you. They're really, really trying to get a hold of you. So I immediately get on the phone with Tufts. And the woman who is actually in charge of the transplant program says to me, we have a heart available for you if you're available. I said, Miss, what time do you want me to be there? If I'm available, I'll be there as quick as I can. I ran home. I got back to the hospital as quickly as I could. Transplant happened, it was successful, and I'm able to stand in front of you today. But here's really, really what I want to drive home to you. If I can do it, if my little heart can do it, your little heart can do it as well. You see, we're all born with a heart, we're all born with emotions, we're all born with fingers, toes, we're all humans, we're all the same. I didn't know that my heart was going to need to be transplanted, just like I'm sure that we've all had accidents happen in life, like car accidents, or we've had bones break, or we've had people die. We didn't know that those things were going to happen, but we have to deal with them. My suggestion, or what I did, I always focused on someone that I loved, or something that I loved, because it kept me focused. So if you've reached deep, deep, deep down inside you, and I implore you to do that, find something you love. And you won't find the answer immediately, but it's absolutely there. And focus on that. And that will get you through. That's how I survived 5 open heart surgeries and my heart transplant. And if my heart can do it, your heart can do it too.